All right, Coach. Bye week has come and gone. Did you get a chance to enjoy the bye week at all?
I did. I enjoyed the end of it.
The end of it.
Yep, the very end of it. Went out to back down to Charlotte for a wedding, and had an opportunity to get away, and got back yesterday afternoon, and been going ever since I got back.
So you're at a wedding, and the people start, hey, Coach, let's talk football. You get that a lot or no? No? That's good. So what was the schedule during the bye week? Because the players were completely off?
No, the players came in until Wednesday, and then they've been off since Wednesday, but they came in. We worked Tuesday, Wednesday, got a chance to review some things with them. And then they were gone, the coaches. We finished up Thursday afternoon, and then they've been off. Came back in this morning and picked up right where we left off. Last week it was all about getting through a self-scout, get a chance to kind of look at some of the things that we've done from the beginning of the year to now. And got an opportunity to look at some of those things, look at the positives, look at the negatives, and go from there.
All right, self-scout during this time off. Let's start with your quarterback. When you look back at what he's been doing, obviously numbers-wise, he's put up some tremendous numbers. Interceptions, not so good. When you looked at it, had a chance to ingest it, what did you see?
Well, just some things that we can do better. First of all, creating good opportunities for him to have success. Secondly, is there's some positions that we could be a little bit better at, obviously. And then he did some really good things. Had some inconsistencies, and I think as he continues to work on it, become more consistent. And again, we've got to do the best we can to help him, to give him those opportunities.
You got the Rams coming up, who just lost in overtime to the Baltimore Ravens in stunning fashion. So, we're fans watching football. You're getting ready for this team. Do you watch the broadcast live?
You do, because there's some things that you can pick up. Sometimes, when they do the production meetings, a coach or a player will say something, and they may talk about it, so you may pick something up there. While you're watching the broadcast, you can see things like if they go tempo, which we knew that they did, and some of it was reaffirmed, and they don't do it all the time, but they'll go quicker on some snaps. Some snaps they'll take it all the way down to the last 5, 4, 3, 2 seconds, and then you can see that they are trying to get something from you so they can get themselves in the best offense. Those are some of the things that you try to pick up.
Well, obviously your defense has struggled this year. Right now, statistically, dead last in a couple different categories. This Rams offense has a bunch of different weapons. What kind of problems to present, and specifically a guy like Cooper Kupp, who seems to be able to do it from any angle?
Well, I think the big thing more so than anything else is really not allowing the explosives. Last 2 weeks ago, we had 2 big explosives, unfortunately, but we kept the rest of them down, so there's a little bit of growth there, but we've got to be more consistent. We can't allow them, and I think, again, that's one of the things that when you watch this offense, they do a lot of good play action, hard play action. It's all predicated off their running game. They run the ball well, and again, we've got to be able to slow that down.
It's amazing to me at 4-9 that you're still in the playoff hunt, but you are 2.5 games back at the final wild card spot. Is that a selling point, the selling point to your squad with 4 games left, or is it you just want these guys to show up and
To me,
play
there's
ball?
2 selling points. One is there's always that opportunity, but 2, this is about being a professional. Okay, come to work, put in an honest day's hard work, and then get ready for the next day. And then we'll play on Sunday, and that's going to be the whole selling point, guys. That this is what this is about. This is about coming in and being the professional.
West Coast, traveling out there, how does it change your routine?
Well, for the most part, it'll be very similar to what we did in Seattle. The biggest difference is we were able to secure a place where we can get a good walkthrough on Saturday morning. When we went to Seattle, we couldn't find a spot that wasn't being used, unfortunately. Really? Yep, because Washington had a game against Oregon at home. The local junior college had a playoff game, and a couple of the high schools that were close had games, so we just couldn't get a spot. So we had to do our walkthrough indoors at the hotel, which is unfortunate. This will be an opportunity for us. We've secured one at one of the local universities, so we should have a good one.
You're worried about your own team, but the big story in the NFL is Chiefs and Bills, and that final play or final plays where their offensive, their wideout, Tony, was called offsides. Andy Reid said after the game, normally as a head coach, I get a warning if that's kind of taking place. Have you gotten warnings like that?
Well, we went through something like that a year ago. And
Giants,
Yep,
Commanders, Terry
right.
McLaurin.
And it's unfortunate that happens, you know, and what you would like to see is the continued communication between the referees and the coaches and the players. I mean, you know, again, because you really don't want something like that to come up and create that kind of a situation. And, you know, just knowing Coach, you know, he's a very reserved man, and you know, when he speaks, you know, he's one of those that has a lot of credibility.
Appreciate your time.
All right.